YouTubers, it is Numistacker back with you today for a video about a very important subject close to all of our hearts, and that is modern coins and the current situation and what's going to be going on in the future with modern British coins, particularly coins from the Royal Mint. You must be blind if you haven't seen some of the extraordinary prices that have been achieved for resales of Royal Mint coins. So how has this situation come about? Well, I'm going to put as a backdrop to this video some nice modern coins for you to have a look at, but really this is a video about listening rather than looking. For many years, coins issued by the Royal Mint did not fully sell out. The Royal Mint do actually publish sales figures for commemorative coins going back quite a few years on their website. But if you look at what happened traditionally, the authorization to mint quite high numbers of coins was standard practice, and the coins were put up for sale. A lot of those coins didn't really sell as well as expected, although of course some did. So there are lots of cases where the sales figures are actually quite considerably less than the issued mintage figures. And it's quite interesting to take a look at those facts on the Royal Mint website. What tended to happen with a lot of those older coins is that the high issue limits meant that there was almost a certain loss to anyone who bought them directly from the Royal Mint as any kind of investment. Even now, if you take a look at auction results or eBay listings, a lot of those coins which had very high issue limits are low even now in the secondary market, and in many cases, even many years later, they're still only maybe 25% of what a new coin of a similar type would be right at the moment. However, over the last 3 to 5 years, things have changed an awful lot. And what I want to do in this video is just look at and explore the factors which have led to this change and get your participation and comments, because I think we can all learn a lot from each other's experience in this particular area. The first question really is, are modern coins an investment? Big question. If you ask the Royal Mint, they will say, generally no, they're not sold as an investment. In fact, if you look at their website, they have an investment arm which sells bullion coins, but they do not consider commemorative coins as an investment. And they sell to collectors who will then go on to collect a number of their coins, maybe give them as presents to grandchildren, hoard them in a collection, and do that as a hobby as opposed to an investment. From what I have seen reading people's comments, those who do genuinely collect as a hobby in relation to coins frown on investors and flippers, and yet even those collectors who buy coins do not want their coins to cliff dive in value over time. Coin Connections specialize in delivering the finest possible quality of coins to you, and for a little extra help we have a promo 2% off with code name Bunny. Most of the coins that the Royal Mint make, although there's quite a big upsurge in cupro nickel, but most of them are made of precious metals. So the precious metal content provides a floor in the degree of value loss, but however, premiums can be 100 to 300% of the intrinsic metal value, and there is a big space therefore between the issue price and the PM floor to their value. I very strongly believe that the Royal Mint have recognised this and understand that part of their job is to provide value protection for buyers, but That's a tall order when you're a commercial business with massive overheads and have a need to maintain profit levels. But they have seen the strategies that Perth Mint and the Canadian Mint, and to a lesser extent the American Mint, have followed and learnt those lessons. From what I can see, in the last 5 years the Royal Mint have done their job in terms of marketing better than in any period in the last 25 years prior, and seem to be interested in learning those lessons and improving on the way they work with collectors. I don't know whether that's been your experience or what you think, but please tell me below. The people that I've met at the Royal Mint through my YouTube channel have generally been great, and with a high customer service ethos and great professionalism as far as I can say. That isn't to say that improvements couldn't be made in things like the scheduling of releases, information about releases that is sent out in a timely way, and production quality and quality assurance. But generally, it's pretty good and it works pretty well for collectors, even though it's not perfect. So I think we all recognise that some modern coins can be an investment despite not being sold as such. This video is absolutely, by the way, not an investment advice. Buyer beware at all times. Do your research. Where to research, use reference books, online auction archives from Heritage, Coin Cabinet, London Coins. Join Facebook groups where you'll meet like-minded people, and one of the best of those groups is my own, which is below. Click on the link and join up. So in the rest of this video, I'm going to talk about some of the factors that have led to the interest in modern coins over the last few years. So I mentioned before about issue limits being massive and maybe not even selling out. At the moment, a lot of coins released sell out very, very quickly, and that is because the mintages and issue limits have been absolutely reduced to, in some cases, so low that these are true rarities, and that's one of the reasons why people who enjoy the concept of flipping or investing in modern coins have shown a little bit more of an interest in Royal Mint releases than they used to. So the overall number of coins minted may very well be pretty much the same, but there are many, many more varieties. Now, if you take, for example, the Three Graces, you had gold in 2 ounce, 5 ounce, 1 kilo, 2 kilos. You had silver in 2 ounce, 5 ounce, 10 ounce, 1 kilo, 2 kilos. And all those different varieties each have a tiny, tiny mintage, but together there are quite a few coins being sold. At the same time, that lower mintage creates much more interest and higher perceived values, and of course more competition to buy those individual releases. At the same time as that, British coins are in a bigger demand worldwide than ever. If you talk to any of the main dealers about where their buyers are, probably 60% of the buyers of British coins, even with these low mintages, are actually outside of the UK, in America, in Canada, in Australia, in New Zealand, and in Asia. So let's look at some of the other factors. Let's talk about third-party grading. Around 90 million coins have been graded so far over the last 35 years by the two leading third-party grading companies. The popularity of grading worldwide has never been greater, and whilst Great Britain was resistant to grading for quite a long time, there is now quite a lot of enthusiasm for grading. Why is the grading enthusiasm there now? Well, I think there's kind of three areas which I particularly think are worth talking about. One of those is there is what I call second level gamification of collecting in the UK. What does that really mean? It means that you get the first level game, which is, can you actually get hold of one of the coins in the first place? And that is a whole game of snakes and ladders all by itself. And then you have a second level of gamification, which is, once you've got the coin, is it going to grade as a 70 or is it going to grade at a lower grade? If you ask the Royal Mint what is the acceptable grade for a coin to be graded, they would say between 68 and 70, and generally if it's going to grade at less than 68, it hasn't been made correctly, but they would think anything is acceptable between 68 and 70. However, collectors all of course want 70s, so that process creates a whole load of coins that are going to grade at different grades, and of course if you do get a 70, then collectors who have managed to get a 70 put a pretty big premium on that 70, which creates much more of an interest in graded coins. There's also of course traditional things like protection of the coin, authenticity, and those are all very, very important too. So let's look at another kind of major factor, I think, and that is the internet. Over the last 5 years, it's never been easier to trade coins without necessarily meeting up and handing them over personally. Special delivery postage works very well. There are hundreds of Facebook groups where people who want to collect particular types of coins can meet up and find like-minded collectors, both nationally and internationally. And in a way, the internet is a major source of crowdsourcing wisdom as well. So within those Facebook groups, if you choose to participate, there'll be almost a group wisdom. Is this particular coin a winner? Is the design any good? Is it better than the previous years? Is it worse? Are the mintages right? And it's really that factor, possibly more than any other factor, which actually sorts out what the investment potential is of a particular coin, because people tend to follow that crowdsourced wisdom. So if everybody on a group agrees that a coin is great, people will all buy it. Some of those people will want to buy two, sell one, keep one, that kind of thing. It all happens all the time. However, the crowdsourcing wisdom tends to decide whether or not a coin is a winner or a loser. And of course, everybody who then wants to buy the coins that are perceived as being the winners, and there is only so many of them because the mintages are actually pretty small, and that can result in quite a big uplift in value. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the last factor I want to talk about really is COVID, because I think that the having so many millions of people throughout the world at home looking at websites, looking at auction prices, looking at auctions in different countries, looking at and doing research on new issues coming out, all of that has a big, I guess it's a big uplift in the interest that people have, in modern coins as an asset class. You've got low interest rates, and low interest rates mean that if you put money in the bank, you're not going to get a great return. So people are looking for more adventurous places to put their money. And it's not just modern coins, because if you look at older numismatic coins, a lot of those have gone up 25% in the last few months as well. So here we are in mid-April in the UK, where a lot of people have gone back to work. 30% of adults have been vaccinated, and so things are slightly getting back to a sense of normality. But the question is, what's going to happen to the coin market? Does it mean people are going to lose interest and things are going to go back to the way they were? Personally, I don't think so. My prediction of what's going to happen is that things will normalize a little bit, but I think that a lot of those people who focused on modern issues over the last year will carry on focusing on those issues, at least for this year, and probably for most of next year as well, while things return to normal, and even then maybe afterwards. I don't think that some of the massive coin auction prices will continue to be realised in the same way, but I do think that there will be quite a lot of potential for modern coin releases to be, significantly popular and with a potential value uplift, just because the mintages are likely to be pretty low compared to the numbers of people who want those kind of coins, particularly ones that go through third-party grading, either at NGC or PCGS, and achieve a 70. So, and I think that's healthy, because I think that huge value uplifts, while they can be nice, they're not necessarily what is going to make the coin market incredibly healthy over the next few years. And I would be interested to know what you guys think of the future. What do you think is going to happen? What's your experience? Is it similar to mine and the thoughts that I've expressed in this video? Or do you think that actually, something else entirely is going to happen? And if so, what? So thanks very much for your patience in listening to this video. I appreciate it. If you're not already a subscriber, please do click on the subscribe button and that little bell, which will let you be notified if there are new Numistacker videos. And that's pretty much all from me for the moment. Looking forward to reading your comments and giving you more mega results over the next week or so.